Let's change it up a bit. I haven't done a Marvel Legends video in quite a while, and I particularly like covering Marvel Legends if the figures have a emotional impact for me. And I loved Spider-Man Homecoming, and I especially loved Marvel's Vulture. So in this episode, we are going to build Vulture. I'm not going to go into too much detail into the characters that are sold in this particular series. This is more let's build Vulture. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I am Denobi2, and thank you for joining me once again on another visual tour. We are going to build the Vulture. The Vulture is probably one of the best villains we've gotten in quite a while. Now, in this particular Marvel Legends series, you noticed there that there was a duplicate Spider-Man there with the Tony Tech suit. That's it right there. There's the diagram. It is 7 pieces. I pre-ordered this set from Big Bad Toy Stores just because I did not want to chase these figures. I don't have the time. I'm just way too busy. And I figured that the Vulture figure would be probably one of the harder figures to find just because the movie's doing so well. It's Michael Keaton, it's Vulture, it's a villain that people really like, love, and can connect to. And the fact that we're probably not going to get a Vulture from Hot Toys, this is probably going to be the best, next closest thing to capturing this iconic character into your toy collection. Paint application is really good. I mean, this is what you would probably expect from Hasbro, and as far as the Marvel Legends, I never hold my breath as far as articulation and detail when it comes to Marvel Legends, only because you come to expect that. Marvel Legends, they do a really good job. They give you tons of articulation, tons of movement, and average paint application. When I mean average, just because I know there's other toy companies out there that can give you more bang for the buck. But again, we're looking for value versus character, and these are $20 figures if you don't resort to the black market pricing. What sucks about these Build-A-Figure sets is that you're stuck with these fillers like Moon Knight. Who cares? Well, you know what? I should be fair. I'm sure there's folks out there who care for Moon Knight. I particularly don't care. I particularly bought this set just so that I can build Vulture. I don't even know who that is. Is it Blue Beetle, Green Beetle? I don't know. I don't care. I haven't read Marvel comic books in a very long time. Again, I wish they would focus more characters on the film, but you know, if you look at Spider-Man Homecoming, there's really not a lot of characters you can make Marvel Legends of, other than Vulture, Spider-Man, and the homemade suit. So, very simple. You don't get instructions on how to build Vulture. I didn't think it was a big deal until later in the video. I start to realize, like, this is pretty hard. It's like building a puzzle. That is the Tony Stark Spidey suit, and you get an extra head there, facial expression. You know what would have been cool is that they would have given you a Michael Keaton head with the Vulture. That would have been really neat, since there's scenes in the film where he is wearing the flight suit without the helmet. But I mean, again, it's not a deal breaker. It is the Marvel Legends. If you notice here, I have a method of how to open these figures, simply because, for example, here Spider-Man here, I guess that's Spider-Man 2000. I don't know where this Spider-Man version is from, but what I tend to do is I tend to resell them so I can try to recoup my cost. I don't collect Marvel Legends like I used to. I don't have the space. Well, I do have the space. If you're not careful with Marvel Legends, you could end up with 30 or 40 Marvel Legends on a DTOF shelf, and it just looks ridiculous. It just does. I'd like to represent my collection in the best possible way as possible, and with Marvel Legends, it can get out of control, especially with this character, Tombstone. I don't know who he is. I don't care. I just got him because I need that air turbine so that I can build my Vulture. I'm going to try to get maybe 10-15 bucks on it on eBay, hopefully. I'm not going to keep him around. I just don't care. I'm not going to devote real estate to display these characters I have no clue of. Now, I have my little towel set up here so that I can start assembling. This is the little plastic piece there, the little plastic flight stand that you get with Vulture. We're going to revisit that later in the video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to align or organize the pieces in the best way possible. Again, you don't get instructions. You get that photo diagram in the box, and Hasbro expects you to assemble this with ease. I will confess, I was stumped. I was stumped for about 5 minutes, and I didn't want to torture you guys with my confusion, because I really did. I was really confused, like which piece, what, you know. I spent maybe 5, a little maybe close to 10 minutes. Oh, I was embarrassed. I'm like, oh, how difficult can it be? Oh, I guess it is. I really am confused. So I had to go back to the box art and study it. I had to see what's going on here, and I kind of really spent some time. I was like, okay, so this is what you do. All right, and pause for a few minutes. Granted, I'm not going to torture you guys with it, but and really carefully align the pieces so that it makes sense. And it took me a bit. Again, these pieces are not numbered. They're not. It's not real clear on how to assemble it, other than the photo. And if you remember in the film, you don't really get to see this flight suit in great detail. It's constantly blurred with the CG effect and so forth. And you see there, I assemble the wing, the turbine in the wrong position. But once it's assembled, it's pretty impressive. It's the wingspan is it's pretty big. It's really cool. It's very nice. This is exactly what I was expecting. Very impressed. And then with the little peg, you attach the Vulture on there, and it's a badass figure. I am really impressed by it. Again, it's not fair that you have to resort to buying figures that you don't care for. Not everybody is going to want every figure in this particular series, but it is what it is. Now, one thing I wanted to do is if I could pose him without the flight stand, and I could. He could actually support the weight on his back, and it looks pretty cool. If you have the space in the shelf to have him positioned with it without using that little plastic flight stand, it looks, to me, I think it looks a lot better. And you do have to spend some time to adjust the wings so that the weight and the counterbalance, but it works. I mean, it really does work, and overall, I'm impressed. I'm happy with it, and hopefully you guys can go out in the hunt if you didn't resort to buying the case from Big Bad Toy Store. I wish you guys good luck. I know finding these pieces it can be very difficult. Like, subscribe, leave your comments below. I hope you enjoyed this Build-A-Figure on the Vulture. I know I did. See ya.